Talk about the start to the season. How happy are you with the way your team has played through the first 3 games?
We've played exceptionally well, coming off of what it's been in the last few years. The boys are actually starting to figure out what it is to win and what it takes to win, and pretty excited. The Melrose game was pretty tough, but we got to experience what it takes to compete at that 8-man level at the state level. So it was good for them to not necessarily to feel that loss, but to see what it takes to win. So,
you like the way your group handled the first road trip of the season this year?
Absolutely. We went and we dominated. There's no other word to describe how that game went. It was 38-0 at the end of the first quarter, and there was really nothing that we could do wrong to not score. I mean, it just kept happening. So I'm not a coach that likes the mercy rule teams. I don't feel like either team gets their opportunity to get better and to play 4 quarters when you mercy rule a team, but I don't know that there was a way that we could have stretched out that game for a full 4 quarters.
For folks that maybe this is your first year that you've been running the Cloudcroft football program, what's your history as a football coach? What led you to Cloudcroft?
I grew up in Texas, played Texas football. Whenever I went to Tarleton State University for a year and had the opportunity to take a coaching class, actually, and we had the opportunity to either break down our game film from Tarleton, or we got the opportunity to go coach a junior high 6-man football team. And so I got the opportunity to go do that. And then this last year, we moved from Texas. I wasn't in the school system, wasn't doing anything to do with school. And then I was asked to step in as an assistant coach last year, right before the season started. Helped out quite a bit. They did a coaching change, and they offered me the position, so I took it. So,
all right. And you talked about you'd coached some 6-man. Had you coached 8-man football before this season?
I had never coached 8-man, had never seen it until last year when they were talking about us moving to 8-man, and that was my first experience with it. So,
how big of an adjustment has it been from somebody who's probably played football his entire life to coach this different style?
It's different, but it's still football. There's not a drastic change. You see what will work in 11-man, and it doesn't necessarily work in 8-man. You would think it would, but it just doesn't, just due to the lack of linemen that you have. But we make it work.
I understand. For someone who's never seen an 8-man football game, how would you describe it to them? I mean, obviously, high scoring would probably be one of the first things to describe it, right?
Right. A 6-man is about as high scoring as it gets. It's more of a track meet than a football game. 8-man, you kind of just split the difference between 6-man and 11-man. In 8-man, you kind of can pick on certain areas of that field where their weaker players are, and you just take advantage of it. And try and make them adjust to it, and a lot of times you just can't. And that's we kind of felt the same thing against Melrose.
Talk about some of your main offensive threats: quarterback, running back, wide receiver. Who are some of your best players so far this season?
Quarterback, we've made the adjustment to having more of a dual threat quarterback, which is Robert Ortega. Hasn't played, at least I know last year. I don't know if he played the year before, but he decided to come out and play his senior year, and that's helped us quite a bit. He had over 200 yards rushing in just the first half alone last week. Alex Miller is a good, solid player all the way around, defense, offense. He's just one that you can count on. You don't really have to sit there and critique him at play after play. He's going to do his job. Along with that, you have Mateo Vasile. He's a senior. Just a hard running kid. We've moved him now to the 3-back position, and he's pretty hard to stop. Doesn't have the speed complete that you'd want him to have, but he's got the power, so you better wrap up and tackle him or he's going to run through you. We have Harrison Turner, who is our backup quarterback. With a kid, you can put him anywhere on the field and count on him. You also have Justin Gaines, who is a move-in this year, and he's in the learning process, but the kid has speed, and you better throw in the right direction on defense or he is going to come steal it from you.
Talk about some of your linemen, because the challenge of only having 3 linemen probably on both sides. I'm sure those kids have a lot of running to do. Maybe is differently compared to what you see with 11-man football.
My lineman I have is my center, who hasn't played in the last couple of years, is Justin Hartung. He stepped up, and you can count on him to get that ball to the quarterback every time in a shotgun set. He's not as big as you'd like him to be, but he's got the speed to go along with it, so it works out perfect. And then we had another move in, Joel Legg, who's 6'6", 210 pounds, and we're still trying to feel him out and figure out where we can put him. But we've put him at guard, and he's big enough, strong enough, and fast enough that he can handle those outside ends that are coming in pretty fast. And then we also have another senior, Cotton Lewis, who is a lot like Robert Ortega, and those players that haven't played in the last couple of years has came back, and he's a wall. He's hard to get past. He's strong, but he's still got speed, and that's the best thing. These boys that weren't playing were playing basketball, so they have the speed to continue on. So that helps us a lot.
So the saga for this year, obviously for you guys, has been that you haven't had a chance to play at home yet. It looked like it was going to happen this week. The weather didn't cooperate. First off, the challenge of playing at Mescalero, playing at Tularosa. You're going to play at Alamogordo High School coming up on Friday night. Has that been a challenging thing for you and the coaching staff to have to deal with?
Everybody has their hopes up, and everybody's excited to get to play on this field. But my thing is no matter what, we're going to have a first game at that field. And I would rather that field not be rushed and in the need of trying to get it done, and it not be quality work. Hey, we'll go play and we'll go beat them wherever we go. We're all excited. We're all ready to play on it, but in the big picture, we'll play on it when it's ready.
Well, and I'd tell you from the pictures I've seen, it's an absolutely beautiful field. Talk about how big that will be for I think the program to have that field going forward, and then they're also going to fix up the track as well there, right?
Right, exactly, and that's it's just going to be it's new culture up here in football for Cloudcroft, and that's a big part of it. It gives the boys something to be proud of. It gives them something to defend, and it just I think it's going to help. Honestly, we got the field on a bond election, and those that voted for it or against it, either one, I think it gives them the opportunity to show what we're actually spending that money on. And as nice as it's going to be something they'll be proud of.
Well, and it seems like it'll add to the community support. I mean, you talk about it there, and it seems like so far this year you guys have gotten good support from the community for this team.
Oh, absolutely. I think we had almost 50 people drive 6 hours to Raymond just to watch us play. It's nice seeing a fan base start to build again up here, and it helps when we're winning. But we are in our first year 8-man. There are teams that are good 8-man teams, and we may not quite be there yet, but we're in the right direction.
Now you talk about those teams that are good 8-man teams. You get to see one this week in Tatum, right?
Correct. Yeah, Tatum's been a powerhouse in 8-man football for many years. I think we match up pretty square against them. We're kind of neck and neck, and all the stats, and about everything that you can imagine. But I think coming off this win, we're in the right frame of mind, especially after our first win against Springer. Our heads may got a little big when we went to play Melrose, and we got put right back in our place. And so I think we're more level-headed going into this game. I'm just hoping that we play 4 quarters of football the way we should. It'll be a much tighter game than what we've been playing, and as long as we stay 4 quarters, we'll be all right.
Now, you guys got a tough couple of weeks here. Tatum and Logan comes. You have to go out to Logan next week, right?
We do, yes, and that'll be an interesting game anyway. I have a nephew that plays for Logan, so that'll be kind of a family feud, but it'll be fun. Logan looks pretty tough. I actually been watching film on a Logan Tatum game, and Logan will be tough. They'll spread you out. They'll throw the ball, but I think we'll be able to cover it all right.
Well, Coach, we're really looking forward to having you down here in the Alamogordo community. You guys are playing at Alamogordo High School, 7 o'clock on Friday night, and we certainly hope that you guys, that field's ready to go by the first home game. By October, that for sure, you guys will be playing that first home game up there, right?
We sure hope so, as long as this rain doesn't turn to snow.
Yeah, that would be a positive. We hope that doesn't happen.
Can't complain about the moisture. Just wish it wouldn't rain on our field.
I understand. Well, Coach, we wish you best of luck the rest of the season. Maybe talk to you sometime down the road. Hopefully be talking to you about maybe some playoff football at the end of the season for you guys.
Absolutely. Sounds good to me, and sure appreciate your time.
All right. Thanks, Coach. Appreciate it.